Good morning, students. Shall we get into today's class? Okay. So we are studying this lesson now, crop production and management. So in this lesson, we are studying the agricultural practices, the basic agricultural practices, right? So first agricultural practice is soil preparation. Second one is selection and sowing of seeds. Third one is irrigation. Fourth is weeding and crop protection. The last one is harvesting and storage. So in these agricultural practices, we have completed up to the third one. Up to irrigation, we have completed. Today, we are going to learn the next agricultural practice, that is weeding and crop protection. Weeding and crop protection. What are weeds? You just see this crop field. All the crops are not same, isn't it? Okay. So these are the undesirable plants. So weeds are the undesirable plants or the unwanted plants grow along with the crops. What are weeds? Weeds are the undesirable or unwanted plants grow along with the crops. For example, these are the examples of weeds: amaranthus, wild oat, grass, chenopodium are some of the weeds. They grow in between the crops and destroy them. Okay, so these weeds must be removed, because if we will not remove the weeds, what will happen? They compete with the crops and they compete for sunlight, air and other nutrients, so that the crops may not give the proper yielding. So these weeds must be removed, otherwise the crops may not give the proper yielding. And some of the weeds are very poisonous to human beings and animals. So some weeds are very poisonous to human beings and even animals also. The removal of weeds is called weeding. The process of removing weeds is called weeding, and this weeding can be done by two methods. One is manual weeding and the other one is using weedicides. So let us see the first one, manual weeding. So here weeds are uprooted or removed or plucked by hand or with the help of some implements called harrow, trowel and hoe. So have you seen these implements? Yes. So weeds can be removed by hand. We can also pick them up, or by using these implements like harrow, trowel and hoe. And some of the disadvantages are there by manual weeding. What are the disadvantages? It is time consuming and may even lead to accidental removal of desired crops. Okay, time consuming, and at the same time sometimes we will remove the crops also. So this is one of the disadvantages. And second one is the implements used. What are the implements can used? Trowel, hoe and harrow. These implements are made up of iron. Okay, so we have to maintain properly, otherwise they may get rusted. Okay, next method of weeding is by using weedicides. What are weedicides? Weedicides are the chemicals used to destroy weeds. Okay. What are weedicides, or what is a weedicide? A weedicide is a chemical that is used to destroy weeds. Weedicides destroy the weeds without affecting the crops. So weedicides destroy the weeds without affecting the crops, and these are some of the examples of weedicides: Dalafen, metachlor, and cystiazine. So what are the weedicides can be used? Dalafen, metachlor, and cystiazine are some of the examples of weedicides. Apart from these weeds, some animals like rats and some other insects also damage the crops. These are called pests, and the animals such as rats and insects which affect the plants or crops are called pests. And these pests also can be destroyed by using pesticides. So the pesticides are the chemicals used to destroy the pest. And what are the disadvantages of using these weedicides and pesticides? First one is, it affects the health of the farmers. Sometimes unknowingly or accidentally, the weedicides or the pesticides may contact with the farmers, and this will lead to the health problem to the farmers. Second one is, traces of these poisonous chemicals may remain in the crops themselves, and that are very harmful to the human life. For example, if without washing we use the vegetables and fruits, that is very danger to our health. So before consumption, we have to wash the grains and the vegetables. That is very important. The next level in the agricultural practices is harvesting and storage. The process of cutting and gathering of crops is called harvesting. What is harvesting? The process of cutting and gathering of crops is called harvesting, and harvesting is done by manually with the help of the instrument called sickle, or with the help of machine which is called harvester. Harvesting is done by manually with the help of sickle or with the help of the machine called harvester. After harvesting, the grains are separated from the plants by threshing and winnowing. First one, threshing. Threshing is done by manually or with the help of the machine called thresher, and this is used for harvesting as well as threshing also. So threshing is done by manually or with the help of the machine called thresher, and winnowing, it involves the separation of the grains from the chaff. Chaff is the dry outer covering of the grain. So the process of separating the grains from the chaff is called winnowing. Next is storage. So after finishing all this, what the farmers have to do is they have to store the harvested crops properly. So harvested grains must be stored for consumption. So they have to do some steps while storing. First step is the grains must be sun dried. Grains must be sun dried before storing. So this will prevent the spoilage. So when the grains are sun dried, the moisture will be removed from the grains so that the grains will be prevented from spoilage. And the grains are weighed and packed in the gunny bags or bins. The dried or the sun-dried grains are stored in the gunny bags or bins. Bulk storage of grains is done in granaries and silos. Bulk storage of grains is done in granaries and silos. The oldest granary is located in the Jordan Valley and dates back to 9500 BC. So the oldest granary is located in Jordan Valley. So we have completed the basic steps involved in the agricultural practices. Now, every year, if the farmers cultivate the same crops in the same field, what will happen? The nutritive value of the soil decrease due to the decreasing nutritive value of the soil. The crops may not grow properly or they may not give the proper yielding, right? So the farmers have to follow some techniques to increase the fertility of the soil. Then only the crops can grow and give good quality grains. Okay, so they have to do some they have to follow some techniques. The first technique is mixed cropping, mixed cultivation. What is mixed cultivation? Two or more different types of crops are sown in the particular field at the same time. So different crops are grown in the same field at the same time. So what will happen here? For example, the leguminous plants are the plants which are having seeds in a long pod. The pea plants, beans, all these are the leguminous plants. So when these leguminous plants are grown with the other crops such as wheat, what will happen? The leguminous plants give the nutrients to the wheat crop. Understand? So that the nutrition or the nutritive value of the soil remains same. Okay, that is mixed cultivation. So mixed cultivation is two or more different types of crops are sown in the particular field at the same time. Second technique is crop rotation. So this is also one of the techniques used by the farmers to increase the fertility of the soil or the nutritive value of the soil. The practice of growing two or more dissimilar crops in the same field, one after the other, is called crop rotation. So crop rotation is the practice of growing two or more dissimilar crops Dissimilar means not same. In the same field, one after the other. That is called crop rotation. So here, crops such as wheat and paddy use up a lot of nitrogen from the soil. So this will be compensated by the leguminous plants such as peas, soya bean or green peas. And these plants, if sown after the wheat or paddy, the nitrogen is absorbed by the wheat or paddy. Leguminous plants are this. They have this. These are the examples of leguminous plants: common beans, pea, lentil, peanuts, soya bean, chickpea, broad bean, mung bean. These are some of the leguminous plants. What is the speciality of these leguminous plants? Do you know? They have the root nodules. The small ball-like structures are seen in the roots. Have you seen? These are called root nodules. They have the bacteria. The name of the bacteria is Rhizobium. So the root nodules of the leguminous plants have bacteria called Rhizobium. What is the function of this Rhizobium bacteria? This Rhizobium bacteria absorb the atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into nitrates and fix in the soil. That will be used by the plants. Okay. So the Rhizobium bacteria, which is present in the root nodules of leguminous plants, absorb the nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into nitrates. So these nitrates are taken up by the plants. Okay. This fixing of nitrogen is called nitrogen fixation. Okay, up to this we have learned the plant cultivation. So which are the steps involved in cultivation of plants. Now, animals also give us food, isn't it? We obtain many types of food items from animals. So, animals also farmers have to grow. So, the rearing of animals on large scale for food and other needs is called animal husbandry. The rearing of animals on large scale for food and other needs is called animal husbandry. So now you all know the food products what we get from animals, right? Milk. Milk is obtained from cow, goat and buffalo. And what are the products we can get from milk? We can prepare from milk butter, ghee, curd, cheese, etc. Isn't it? Then meat. Meat is obtained from animals like cow, goat, chickens. Yes. Then other types of meat are fish, prawn, shrimp, and some other sea animals also we are consuming. And eggs are obtained from birds such as duck, turkey, hen. And honey is obtained from honeybee. And the rearing of honeybees is called apiculture. Rearing of honeybees is called apiculture. So these are some of the food items we get from animals. Okay, students. So we have completed the first lesson. Okay, students. Study well and prepare for the test. Thank you.